The Oklahoma City Thunder select Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga University.
What a pass. Giddy underneath for JRE. The reverse and the rookie-to-rookie action. SGA defended closely by Westbrook. Tough. Step back. Gets up the shot. Banks it in for the lead.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested Podcast, Emergency Pod Edition, coming to you Saturday, July 1st, with a solo pod. It's me, Jacob Niffen. I'm your host for the evening. We are evening. It's not even afternoon yet. It's 11:56 a.m. We're brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and DailyThunder.com. And it is time. Who would have ever guessed that the emergency Vasilije Micić pod would be a solo podcast carried out by me of all people on this show? It finally happened, folks. I didn't think we would ever get here. I thought at best it would be a side note of a traded draft rights as the Thunder moved Micić on to another team. But here we are. I am very surprised. Did not expect this. If you have not seen Vasilije Micić, I think he's the EuroLeague MVP from last season, won a title in the EuroLeague, plays for Efes which is in Turkey, a 6'5", 29-year-old guard who the Thunder have held the rights for since their Al Horford trade, the first Al Horford trade when the Thunder acquired Al Horford from Philadelphia, has finally agreed to come over. Micić has flirted with the idea of coming over to the NBA for years now, typically using that as leverage to gain a more lucrative EuroLeague deal. But this season, things started to get interesting as we got reports that Micić had flown over from Europe. He is Serbian, so he and Poku, same home country, may play FIBA basketball together this year, Micić and Aleksej Pokusevski. Micić flew over to Oklahoma City, spent some time in OKC. That was confirmed by multiple reports and then eventually by Sam Presti. Word was that they wanted to get Micić over here. They wanted to sign him to a deal. Just kind of felt like it was never going to be in OKC. And then I personally kind of felt like after they drafted another guard in Cason Wallace, I was like, oh, the Micić stuff is going to be like a trade. But here we are with Vasilije Micić coming to Oklahoma City. I want to get the numbers right, so let me pull up Woj's tweet once again, just to make sure I have it all correct. Micić is coming over on a 3-year, $23.5 million deal to join the Thunder. This is per his agent, Jason Rain of Wasserman Basketball. Subsequently, Woj had a story about how the Thunder have been trying to get Micić over here for years now, and he has now finally made the leap. The way the Woj tweet is worded makes me feel like there's not going to be a subsequent trade, that they are bringing Micić over to play for the Thunder. Follow that up with apologies for my dog barking in the background, but I do not have the ability to mute my mic because then you guys just wouldn't have anybody talking on the podcast. Follow that up with, good Lord, that dog needs to be quiet, with Joe Masato of the Daily Oklahoman saying that he had heard that there was a little bit of interest in Micić pre-draft, specifically with the Utah Jazz, but nothing ever came to fruition, and he foresees this as Micić coming over here to play with the Thunder. So it sounds as if this is going... Yeah, Blueface Baby says, the dogs found out about the news. Apologies for the dogs howling in the background. But again, I can't get up and go take care of that because then you guys would have no one on the show. It sounds like Micic is coming over to play for the Oklahoma City Thunder, which is just wild to me. Did not expect it. If you are not super plugged in to, I mean, I'm not super plugged into EuroLeague basketball, but if you don't really know about Micic, you don't know what type of player he is. Now, this is a 6'5" guard, specifically like a point guard, ball handling type of guy. This past season, I have some of his stats pulled up here for you guys. I don't really understand like how EuroLeague works, but he played in EuroLeague and in BSL last year, both for Ephes. And his stats are as follows. In 31 EuroLeague games in 2022-2023, Micic averaged 16 points, 5.5 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal. He shot 43% from the field, 36% from 3 on 7 attempts a game, 54% on 2s. And then in the BSL league, he played 22 games, averaged 15.5 points, 4.5 assists, 2 rebounds, and a steal. He shot 53% from the field, including 46% from 3 on 5 attempts a game, 62% from 2. His career stats since 2014-2015 season, he's a 13.5 rebound, 2.5 assists, or I got those numbers backward. 13 points, 5 assists, 2.5 rebounds a game. Shoots 46% from the field, 37% from 3. If you look at his past few years since 21-22, he averages over 6 3-point attempts per game. Very, very accomplished EuroLeague guy. I just can't believe he's coming over. It's very, very surprising. I think, and if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments over here. I'm not going to pod for too long today because we'll talk about this in depth on the Sunday show tomorrow as well. So make sure to tune into that to get all the guys' reactions. I just wanted to get something up for you guys because I'm sure the diehards, the degenerates are chomping at the bit for some content after this has happened. The next question for me becomes the rotation. Very interesting. The Thunder now have 17 contracts on the roster, not including two-way guys. They made a trade, and we'll talk about this more tomorrow, but they made a trade for Victor Oladipo. I wouldn't be surprised if they just buy Victor Oladipo out. And then now they've brought over Vasilije Micic. So if they two guys have to leave the roster, I assume Vic will be one of them. I'd love if Vic stayed around. Don't think it's going to happen, but I would love if it did. That means somebody has to leave for there to be a spot for Micic, which I don't know who that's going to be. JRE's contract just became guaranteed today. They could still move off of him. That's not a lot of money. You've got Trey Mann. You've got Aaron Wiggins. I know a lot of people don't want to hear me say that name when I'm talking about guys that maybe won't be on the roster, but those are guys that I think are candidates, right? Who have those smaller contracts. Is it Trey Mann? I question if it would be Trey Mann just because the asset they had to spend to get Trey Mann, which was selecting him in the first round compared to other guys who they got in the second round. The initial cost of getting Trey Mann was higher than those guys, so I wouldn't be surprised if they want to give Trey more of a runway. But it is very interesting. Who is out now that Micic is in? We'll find out. And they don't have to figure that out until October. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think anything's going to happen soon. Maybe I could be wrong, but I don't think anything's going to happen soon with that. But then you look at the rotation. I already see some people in the chat saying Micic is a starter. I don't know if we have any other Micic starter comments in here. I don't see him starting. It's interesting. He does come in now, the oldest guy on the roster at 29. Now, since Dario Saric will not be returning, Micic will be the oldest guy on the roster. I don't think he starts Because of the 5 starters, who is he supplanting? Who is Micic sending to the bench? It sure as hell isn't your first team all NBA star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Oh, Sean brings up a good point. Bertans is older. I forgot Bertans. Totally forgot Bertans was even on the roster. Yeah, shows how much I know. You're not moving Shai to the bench. You're not moving Chet to the bench, because if you move Chet to the bench, you're not starting 5 guards, right? So Chet's going to start. J-Dub is not getting sent to the bench. Josh Giddey is not getting sent to the bench. That's not going to happen. That leaves Lou Dort. And I don't think they're putting their number 1 defender, Lou Dort, on the bench for Vasilije Micic. I think Micic and Kason Wallace will be the guards coming off the bench. Maybe along with guys like Ousmane Dieng, Poku, and Kenrich Williams. They're going to legit be playing like 12, 13, 14 guys next season. Like, the rotation is going to be pretty crazy. But I think if you disagree, that's totally fine. Like, we have no clue what's going to happen, but I don't see a world where there's no injuries or major trades where Micic starts on this team. It's crazy. I can't believe it's happened. Let's get through some of the comments and see what everyone in here has to say. Blueface Baby says, let's go for Oladipo. We'll talk about Oladipo more tomorrow. Don't want to get deep into that one today, but super excited that Oladipo, the Thunder brought him back. Again, I think he probably just gets bought out. He should be healthy and ready to go on around the beginning of the year, but a 31-year-old dude who's had multiple significant knee injuries, like, I just don't know if Victor's going to be able to contribute at a high level anymore. Amen says, let it out, Jacob. It's a safe space. Hey, I just never thought this was going to happen. I'm very surprised we got here. Crichton Dallas Wilton says, Summer League Micic gonna ball. So I actually joked in the group chat with some of the other uncontested guys today. I think he's technically signing as a rookie because he's going to be a rookie, a 29-year-old rookie. I think he could play. He's not going to play in Summer League, guys. Per the rules, I think he can. Could you imagine if they trotted out Micic? I don't know if it's Micic or Micic. I'm going to use them interchangeably. Micic, Kason Wallace, Chet Holmgren, J-Dub, and Ousmane Dieng out on that Summer League court. That would be ridiculous. That would be so incredible. Another question. We can't trade that contract soon, can we? This is an interesting point of contention. I don't know how it works. Typically, when you sign a free agent, you cannot trade them till December 15th. I think that's the date, December 15th, or 3 months, whichever one's longer. But if he's signed as a rookie, I think you can trade him after 30 days. But it sounds like they're not trading him. Connor says, so roster size got expanded to 20 players with the most recent CBA, right? LOL. Clearing house soon. You can carry 20 guys up to the first day of the regular season. 17 contracted, 3 guys that are on two-way deals. So they are at their limit on contracted guys now. Jesse says, what are we feeling, fellas? Surprise. Massive surprise. Another question. We had 2 guards. What do we have to do for a big... I think I've said this before on this podcast. I'm kind of going to double down on it. I think Poku might be the bench big for this team next year. I mean, you have Jay Will. He's going to play. You have JRE. They're going to give him a chance. I don't know. They liked playing Poku at center last year when he was healthy. I could see them continuing to do that. My guy Justin saying, Jacob doing the Micic pod is poetic justice. Of course it is. Sean says, how soon will Trey 1K be going out? It's a good question. I kind of think Trey stays, but you now have this interesting like pool of 6'4", 6'5", kind of combo guardy wing type guys. You've got Trey. You just got Kason. You've got Isaiah Joe. Now you have Micic. You've got Shea and Dub and Josh, who aren't really like guard sized, but still, it's pretty interesting. Eamon thinks that JRE will be the one to go. That will be interesting. Justin says, going to shout, let's get silly from Loud City every time Vasilije checks in. I love it. I love it. Connor agrees with me. Micic can lead the bench. It's a perfect fit. I think that would be interesting. Justin, again, on a scale of Gabby Deck to Serge Ibaka, how do you feel about this signing? I mean, he's not a free agent signing. I was going to say, like, as a free agent signing, is he the best free agent signing ever in Thunder history? But he's not a free agent signing. It's a good question, Justin. Like, I think this is the best player they've ever signed kind of in this style, in this mold, bringing somebody over from Europe who's been there for a while. He is a little bit older. Like Alex Abrines might go on that list as well. Eamon makes the comp that he's kind of like Campazzo, and I think Campazzo was much smaller. I'm interested to see what Micic's defense is like. That's going to be the big question for me. Caleb says, I feel a trade like what we saw last year with Maladon, etc., happening, like a big trade and dump type of move. Could be a possibility. We'll see. And then last one here. Connor says, the ball is just going to fly around this team. It's actually nuts. They have a lot of ball movers, a lot of guys who can make very quick decisions, a lot of guys who like to pass the ball. We're going to get the beautiful game in OKC next season. Just a lot of guys who want to pass, make the right play. You've got Josh, you've got Queso, you've got Micic, you've got J-Dub, Chet can pass it. Obviously, Shea can pass it. Like, Oos can pass it. Poku can pass it. You've got a lot of... The Thunder have a type, folks. The Thunder have a type. Very interesting move. Did not see this coming. Didn't see it happening today. I thought it was going to be some sort of just like rights traded away type stuff. Just, I'm still very, very surprised. We will get more into this on our weekly show. Blueface Baby says Jay Will, a good passer too. Totally agree. We'll get more into this on the weekly show tomorrow night. So make sure to tune in tomorrow, Sunday, 9 p.m. Central Time, as we will go live talking about all this type of stuff. And then Monday, we have our first Summer League game out in Utah. We will be live after that one as well, breaking it all down for you, talking about, you'd think at some point they'd release like the Summer League schedule, right? Maybe we'll get that tomorrow pre-pod, I hope. I won't be surprised if we don't get it till Monday, to be honest, knowing the Thunder. I think last year, 2 years ago, they did not release the Summer League roster for quite some time. So I'm going to pump the music. We're going to get out of here. Thank you guys for jumping onto the emergency pod. Didn't want to do a long one, but wanted to at least get some content out there for you guys. I'm sure everyone else is doing the Micic pod as well. So throw the uncontested in your queue as well. Thank you guys for hopping on live. If you're listening to podcast version, appreciate it. Sunday, 9 p.m. Central Time. Join us as we'll talk all about all the free agent moves. Victor Oladipo, Vasilije Micic, Dame Lillard. What happens with Jeremy Grant? Fred VanVleet getting the bag? We'll cover all of it. It'll be a blast. We will see you guys then. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll chat soon. Thunder up.